How are you all? I hope you all are doing well and had a good week. We want to do this video about how to not live stuck. And I know that sounds like, well, what do you mean by that? We're going to explain in this video, but just wanted to do a quick intro and say we just have a heart and a passion for that exact thing. That's our heart behind Grant and Ashley Lewis. We got a word from somebody we really respect about 15 years ago, and they said that we would have multiple businesses that would do exactly the very thing that I'm talking about in this video, which was you'd help people to get unstuck in life, help people go from A to Z. And we've seen that come to pass over and over again, not only in our own lives, because I think you first have to walk something out before you can really give it away, right? But we've really seen it in other people's lives, how we've been able to help, just serve other families and couples and individuals to get unstuck. So yeah, we want to talk about it in this video. We're going to talk about it a little bit in the context of our recent transition, but we also want to talk about just ways to not live stuck, ways to get unstuck, and just what that even means. Because I think many of us sometimes don't even realize we are stuck until somebody comes and either lives differently in front of us and you kind of get challenged in that way, or until you literally get confronted with it by somebody who loves you and will say something to you like, hey, have you thought about this? Or that's what relationships are for, right? But a lot of times we don't know we're stuck until we are unstuck and on the other side. So lots to say there. Again, thank you for joining us on the journey. Subscribe for more videos that we are going to be posting soon. We have lots of exciting videos that we'll be posting, more on the ins and outs of our life in Maui now. Crazy. We still can't believe that we moved, but we did it. And so at the end of this video, we're going to be sharing regarding a coaching intensive with Grant and Ashley Lewis. So again, thanks for joining us, guys. All right. Hey guys, what's up? We wanted to come to you and talk about a topic that is very near and dear to our hearts as we are putting together a 9-week intensive and kind of revamping and getting our coaching back up and going. And we're putting together this intensive, getting our website together to revamp that, and we're really remembering a word that we got about 15 years ago that I just want to share quickly about this very thing. And it really is the reason why we want to do what we're doing with coaching and what we're doing even with this channel, is this very thing. So babe, why don't you share, or you want me to share 15 years ago the word that we You want me to share, or you to share?
Go ahead.
Okay. So 15 years ago, we were at a conference and we got a really great word from somebody that didn't know us, didn't know our context, but she said we would help people go from A to Z and to get unstuck in life. And since then, we've really walked that out, and we've worked really hard to walk out the very thing that we now can give away and that we're still in process with, right? We never will arrive. We're firm believers of that, but we've put together curriculum that we were doing years ago with 1-week intensives with young adults. We did I feel like we did, how many of those did we do? 4?
I don't remember, like 4 or 5, I think.
4 or 5 1-week intensives in the mountains of North Carolina with groups of millennials. And we were able to put together curriculum that we are still using today, and we've evolved and it's grown as we've grown over the years. I want to talk today about stuckness and about that very thing, the thing that was spoken into us and that we believe now is our purpose and our calling. One of the main things is to help people to get unstuck in life and to really walk out fullness and purpose and knowing who they are. But being stuck in life is a really big thing for majority of people. I mean, it's been a big place that we've had to walk out in many different areas, that we are pretty passionate about walking out what we give out. We're true to ourselves, true to our word. We don't give away anything that we haven't first walked out ourselves. And so we want to just talk about stuckness for a minute. So babe, what would you say, just even in light of everything we've just walked through like recently, are just some keys to stuckness? And just some keys to getting unstuck in general.
We're just on the back end of an argument, by the way, so we're just brushing that off.
All things real, everybody.
Wait, what's the question?
Unstuck. What are some thoughts, keys, or just ways that we've even been processing stuckness ourselves? Because we just went through just such a major transition moving here, and I felt like we put to action so much of what we had to walk out first on the inside, right? And I think that's something we can just share about with stuckness. Like, it's an inside job first, wouldn't you say? It's like an inside out thing.
Yeah, your perspective again, I think it's acknowledging that you're stuck and being honest with yourself that you feel stuck, and
in
somehow
whatever area.
And somehow resolving that that's okay. That doesn't change your identity. That doesn't change the fact that you are loved, that you are enough.
That's good. Yeah.
The fact that you feel stuck in any area of life is not a prerequisite for your sense of identity fundamentally.
Or success in life.
Doesn't matter, because the opposite can be true. You can be unstuck and successful according to the world's standard of successfulness and still feel very stuck. So you have to always start with being brutally honest. I feel stuck. Yeah. Okay, so on the other side of that feeling stuck, how do you feel about yourself fundamentally? Your sense of well-being, your sense of identity. Do you still believe that you are enough even though you feel stuck? Because if you don't believe for the most part that you are enough in the face of feeling stuckness, then that's good, because that's the start of you realizing that you are now going to get to know who you really are.
That's good.
Underneath all of this busy stuff, all of this other stuff.
Because the outside doesn't define us.
Exactly. Yeah. And so
the outside success doesn't define us. That's, yes, like, go for it in life, crush it, fulfill your career, your purpose, like, live a financially successful life, have a beautiful family, have an awesome marriage. But that, at the end of the day, does not define our success, our identity, our well-being. And if you feel stuck in any of those one areas, it's allowing that, right, to trigger you to go back in to resolve whatever needs to be resolved in the areas of stuckness, even in your heart, right? Even
it's almost like, for me, when I did full-time ministry for well over a decade, and then my secondary purpose, which is seasonal. You have a primary and a secondary purpose. Your secondary purpose is outside of you. It's what you do. Your primary purpose in life, it's who you are. It's about being.
Yes.
And so when my secondary purpose changed, which it will always change, it shook up a lot of things. I felt so stuck. I felt so out of control. It was so uncomfortable. So many things were being confronted and challenged, and it was very hard.
Because his career changed. What he was doing on the outside changed, right? And so he had to go in and let that allow him to
really drill down to see, what was behind let's just say the career, what I was doing. I had a public presence. I was on the stage often. I got a lot of accolades from people every week, which is nice, there's nothing wrong with that. But when my stuckness started coming up, I realized how much my sense of identity actually means one with God. So how much my sense of groundedness, my sense of well-being, my sense of confidence, my sense of courage, my sense of peace, my sense of rest, doesn't matter where I am, doesn't matter who I'm with, I'm steady. That sense was attached to what I did outside of me. And when what I did outside of me changed, was taken away, wasn't really fulfilling anymore, then that feeling of stuckness was exposed, because it was showing me that my sense of identity was attached to something outside of me versus someone inside of me.
So good.
My true self, God. with me, in me, through me. And so
talk about gaining the world and not losing your soul.
Yeah, so
Maybe say that again. I just said to talk about how to not lose your soul and gain the world. Like, he's been really going after like gaining the world and not losing your soul. So both, like, right? We've been going after business and, getting things really steady financially and, getting all things in order, family, marriage, finance, like all the stuff, right? But at the same time, gaining our world on the outside, but not losing who we are on the inside, not allowing that to compromise who we are and our sense of identity, right? So talk more about that, because that's huge.
Well, yeah, it's just that. It's, it's basically like it's living from a place of compulsion versus inspiration. A place of
grabbing,
manicness. You're just manic and frantic and you gotta grab, and neediness. Gotta, hurry. Guilty. To a place of divine inspiration, a place of rest. And
it's not to say be lazy, because that's not what that means.
No, then you're misunderstanding.
Rest is not be lazy and don't do anything. Rest is to clarify that.
You actually get way more done when you're working from a place of rest on so many levels. It's so much more fulfilling. It's so much more long-lasting. It's so much more impactful versus purposeful. When you're doing it from a place of just compulsion, which again, that's rooted to your sense of identity.
Right.
The action you take makes you feel good about yourself. And if you don't know who you really are, you're going to keep taking manic action that will burn you out 100%.
And you'll lose your soul, basically.
And thus losing your soul. Your sense of anchoredness, despite the outside influence, despite outside circumstances, your sense of steadiness, your sense of peace and groundedness. It's like the image I'm thinking of. It's like Jesus falls asleep in the boat in the midst of a storm. That is probably literal, but it's so symbolic for what we're talking about. He was on his way to gain his world. He had a mission, and that's what it means to gain your world, is your mission, your passion, your purpose. But he wasn't doing it rushing. You don't see him running around. He was resting in the midst of the storm. That's because he learned how to gain his world, not at the expense of losing his soul. He had a soul that was at rest. And that, again, going back to, I feel stuck. Good. Accept that. Be okay with that. Now begin to learn to sit still in silence. Observe, what is the stuckness? Where is it going? You're not judging it. You're not trying to control it or fix it. You might also need to start working out a little bit. You might need some body movement. You might need to sweat a little bit.
What do you do? Cold showers?
I like the cold shower thing. I love conscious breathing, where, breath work, it really, really relaxes me and connects me to the presence of God so consistently. It calms down my nervous system, and then, so breath work, cold showers, I have fun. You have to have fun. I play soccer twice a week.
Hang on, but being okay with stillness, being okay with, because I know for me when I started, I just don't want you to skip too fast past that, because there's something so to that. Like, if you can't be alone with yourself, if you can't be still within yourself, if you can't be okay with not always doing things, and you're so used to doing that because you're so afraid to be with yourself. I know when we really started to walk this out, it was uncomfortable to be alone with myself, because I knew there was so much that was coming up in that place within myself. Feelings of sadness, of loneliness, of just overwhelm, of feeling unproductive if I wasn't doing something or not enough. I was feeling I had to be busy to feel a sense of identity and to feel a sense of enoughness, right? And so if you're having that coming up, if you're having those feelings of whatever it is for you, when you're alone or you're still or you're silent, or even before bed, or when you wake up in the morning, those are signs of your body and your soul and your mind saying that it needs to be regulated. Those things need to be felt. They need to be, processed through.
Loved.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah, they need to be. It's like a child. They just want attention. It's the part of you that didn't get attention from your mommy or your daddy or your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend.
Correct.
And it just wants love and attention. And honestly, unless you're loving those unlovable parts of you, you're not loving anybody, period. You have nothing.
Because you're not living
really
from overflow.
Yeah,
you're not first giving it to yourself.
If you're not living, this is a lifestyle we're talking about, guys. This is not a weekend thing. This is like, having 3 kids. This is like 24/7.
Yep.
365 days a year.
And we don't even have babies anymore, but it's still,
it's like,
constant.
And it's like this. It's like, I'm looking at all the trees here, and there's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. And so the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, it's interesting because it's good and evil, but that's not good. Life is good, meaning the thoughts, the I feel stuck, it trying to get you back in the cycle of living to where you react. So I feel stuck. Oh, here's this feeling again that I can't be with, that I just want to push down because I think I am that feeling.
Right.
So let me go take some manic action. Let me go make some money.
Right.
Let me go write a song or nothing. Let me go into complete apathy and do absolutely nothing with my life.
Yep.
But the thing is, it's like we're so surprised that those feelings come up as if we're perfect in our own strength.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's like the trees, there was always 2 trees in the garden. So like in the thoughts actually look like trees, the neurons in your mind. It's wild because you get to choose which tree you want to feast on. So stop being surprised that there are trees in the garden of your heart or in the garden of your mind, and rather acknowledge like, oh wow, that's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, meaning I feel this scaredness, I can't handle this tension within me, so let me take some compulsive action. Let me hide, let me numb, let me deflect.
Right.
That's eating from the wrong tree. That tree breeds shame. That is sin, essentially. You're going outside versus coming inside. The tree of life is coming inside, and you.
So, wow.
So with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you just look at it, you stare at it, you observe it with compassion, with openness. You're not shocked that it's there. It's there. And as you do, those parts of you will regulate. And there'll be times where you're feeling like, this is crazy, this doesn't work, this is ridiculous, I'm gonna die if I do that. Good. The right part of you should die. The small part of you, the selfish part of you, not the real you. So when that stuckness comes, it is hard work. But it even scripture says, make every effort to enter into rest. Think about that paradox. Like, make a lot of effort, put in a lot of energy to live in a state of restfulness. The same amount of energy we put into the actions that breeds restlessness is the same or more energy we put in to the inspired action to cultivate restfulness. So you're feeling stuck, feel through it.
Stuckness on the inside always represents stuckness on the outside, in my opinion. But you may feel like things are going well on the outside, but there's stuckness on the inside. Like, it's a matter of listening and tuning into what's going on here, and on the outside things will align. So this transition that we just went through, we had been for 1.5 years going through a season where we kept having to really go in. Even before that, when we were living in West Palm, it was a lot of like stuff coming up, having to regulate it, having to feel it, heal it, therapy, all kinds of stuff. But it was us going in first and really getting whole and, feeling and going there with all of it. And like he was just saying, and on the outside, things were also shifting. So oftentimes we look on the outside at things and we're like, oh, I want this to change. Oh, I want this to change. I want this, I'm single. I want to be married. I want that to change. I want to be, in this financial situation. I want that to change. I want this career. I want this job position. I want this many kids. A lot of times we look out because we're so trained to look out, but we're really needing to go here in first and regulate and deal with the things that are coming up first. And then the outside will align, honestly, because we've watched that happen over and over again. Sometimes it takes time, right? It doesn't always happen like that.
All these things will be added to you.
But it really, we've seen it over and over again. And so this move for us was such a picture of that, because we had been walking so much out stuff on the inside. And within an instant, it was like so much shifted on the outside and just aligned with what we had been working so hard for on the inside. So it may not be that case for you, but we just want to encourage you with all of this to say, if you feel stuck in any way, outside or inside, use it as an opportunity, as a catalyst for wholeness. Let all things be a catalyst for wholeness, as you always say.
Yeah.
And stuckness is a process. It takes time, but it's always an invitation to go in and to learn more about his love for us ultimately. So we'll leave you with that. We don't want to go on too long. We want to also share in this video about our 9-week intensive that we have coming up. So we'll share about that with you here. So thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Continue to tune in, and we will see you soon. All right. Bye. Hey, so we are putting together a 9-week intensive. We've been working hard behind the scenes, dreaming up this intensive for a long time. We've done a lot of in-person stuff, but this season in the world and just in general for us and just for so many of you, online works, online coaching works. And so we're putting together a 9-week all online intensive coaching program for a very small group of people. The spots are going to be limited, and it's going to be 9 weeks of live sessions that we're going to be having, where each week we will be discussing either one of the 3 P's or one of the 6 F's. The 3 P's being the presence, purpose, and process of God in your lives. And then the 6 F's are family, finances, fun, flow, field, and fitness. So we're going to be going into each week how the 3 P's, presence, purpose, and process, function out of the places in the 6 F's for you. We're going to be getting into that. So there'll be an hour of teaching, and then there'll be 30 minutes after that each week of Q&R, times to discuss and dialogue together about each topic that we're talking about that week. And then we will also be doing a one-time session for each person that signs up, a one-time 45 minutes one-on-one clarity coaching time with you. And we have a discounted price for married couples if you want to go through it together, and also an individual price. We'll be sharing more about that. And babe, why don't you just say who this coaching intensive is for?
Really, it's for people, you're feeling borderline overwhelmed, you're feeling borderline burned out, you need a renewed sense of energy, clarity, a deeper sense of purpose in everything that pertains to life. So
you're coming up against
you've been going for it in life, and you're feeling stuck, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling burned out
in one area or another. It doesn't have to be all areas,
right?
Yeah.
And then it's also for people who just, you know what, I want to really give this thing called life a go, and I want to start well. I want to start with a bang. So if that
restart.
So if that speaks to you, then this is for you. If you're looking to get plugged into a community of like-minded people, then this is for you.
Yep. So we will have registration details. If you're already feeling like, yep, this is me, I want to do it, then just shoot us a message on Instagram or Facebook. Shoot a text if you have our number. And let us know that this is you, and we'll get you signed up. Again, spots are going to be limited, and we'll have some more info for you about registration if you aren't sure yet or you need some more time to think about it. We'll have more details coming up soon, but it will be happening very soon. So thanks, guys, and we will talk to you soon.
Ciao.
Bye.